Hi, thanks for reaching out. Um, I want to answer your how do I get extra help question first. I know it's a little bit this semester for me it's a little bit wonky because I rotate days. But if you look at your syllabus, right here on Mondays and Wednesdays, I have time in Akron. So I have an 8 o'clock, 8 to 10 o'clock class in the 21st century room, which means one day I'm in Akron, one day I'm in Maine, and then I rotate. So, for example, of course, this week, today, Monday, is a holiday, but on Wednesday, I am in Akron, okay? And my office in Akron, so that's at 10 o'clock. My office is A113F in Akron. So I would either be or in my classroom if somebody's keeping me there, but there's another class that starts at 10:30, so I would definitely be in my office by 10:30. The other would be A009. That's in the corner across from the testing center on the lower level. Um, And anytime it's a Wednesday, this is lab time for that class. So you're also welcome to show up into that class. I could help you with stuff. Um, but I will be in my office here. So then the other thing is uh, Amy Tracy is another full-time faculty in my area, and she spends Mondays and Wednesdays in Akron, and she spends most of her time down in A007. And so on Mondays and Wednesdays from 9:30 to 10, or no, yeah, 9:30 to 10, or noon to I think 2, she's in that office or that classroom for tutoring of students. So the third option is Jeff, who is in the Akron Tutoring Center. So that's down here. He's usually in this A0010, and he's pretty much there all day. And he's very comfortable with this material. So you could go down there in Akron, down. So most of it's in the downstairs, except my office is up on the first floor, and I'm only there that very few time. So hopefully between Amy, myself, and Jeff, who's in this tutoring center, we would be able to meet your needs. The other thing is, if you email me, not at Blackboard, because Blackboard's notifications that um, as faculty, we get a notification in our regular email that somebody sent us something in Blackboard that we know to go look. That has not been working consistently. They're trying to fix it. But like I didn't notice that you had sent me this because I didn't get notification of it. So if you wanted immediate notification, you could send it to my hmandelinage@starkstate.edu. All right, so that's that. Let's go look at your file. So let me pull up the instructions. Okay, so you didn't tell me exactly which step you're on. I'm assuming it's this uniform size, but I was looking through this and this one looks incorrect to me. So let's find that one because I don't want you to, yeah. So students at the Fiddlers can earn free lessons once they have taken more than 5. In B8, enter an ifs to return a 0 if the total lessons in B6 is less than 5, but yours just says 0, so it needs to say 0 earned. And then total lessons in B6 is less than 5. Return 1 earned. Okay. All right. So yeah, I don't think this is, let me rewrite this for you so you can get this one right. Okay, so I have the correct over here. So you started off good, but let me go in here and go to the insert functions. Okay, so this is great, perfect, right? But what you want to have happen is, let's pull that up, right? 0 earned. So right here, you just want to do quote 0 earned. I know it's kind of silly, but, and then if it's less than 10, then you're going to do 1 earned. And then the last one would be false, and that would be 2 earned. So let me explain about that. So you're saying, okay, if it's not less than, let's go back up here. If it's less than 5, it's 0. Okay, so 0 to 4, you're going to get a 0 earned in there, right? Okay, so we would never go down here if it's already met that, right? So understand that it only goes to the second test if the first test is false. This is almost like saying the false part of this. So, okay, if you don't have less than 5, then, okay, do you have less than 10? And if you have less than 10, then it's 1 earned. And then if that falls through, right? In other words, if it's false, if you have 10 or more, basically, then you get 2, right? So that last one is usually the default. Like, so think about your grades, less than 60 F, less than 70 D, less than 70 is a C, less than 80 is a C, less than 90 is a B, false A. So I mean, if you didn't get an F, a D, a C, a B, then you got an A, right? That's the default. Like you could have 101, right? So let's go ahead and do that, and then that'll work that out. Okay. So then let's go to this one. Going to be part of Fiddler's competition starting in B12. Okay, you did that perfect. In order for students, they need a permission slip. So you did the ready to go. That's good. So then 12. Students on the road need to locate their student in D12. D12. Okay, you did that one great. 13. Oh, E. Oh, yeah, we already did those. Those are all good. All right, so let's go down here. So then I11. Okay, so you don't have I11 done. So let's take a look at how to do this. So they're telling you have to do an index match, but how would you know that in reality, right? Well, I need to find the price per uniform for this size and this number ordered, right? So the first thing that I would do is go look at that data table, right? So it's telling here uniform theories. So I'm going to hit F3, find uniform fees, and then just go look at it. Oh, shoot, that's wrong. Come up here, do uniform fees, and go to it. All right. So that's always the first step. So right here, so let's analyze what we're looking at here. So in this column, it's the identifier for what row we need to go to, right? And I do notice that it's a range. So if you have 0 to 15, you're going to use this row. 15 to 20, you're going to use this row. 20 to 25, you're going to use this row. And 25 or more is this row. So when I do my match, I have to think, okay, it's not an exact, which would be 0. So now is it in ascending or descending order? This is in ascending, so I would use a 1. And then to determine what column, right? So now we've got what row. Now what column is going to be, is it an XX? Is it an S? Is it an M, L? And these are exact matches. So now I'm armed with the information that I need. So let's go back to report and start building it. So we're going to come to formulas. I want to do a index. Okay. The table that I'm using, I'm going to do my F3 right here and pick uniform fees, right? That's that table we just looked at. So here's the row, right? So we remember that the row is determined by how many uniforms are being ordered, right? So that's the number needed. So right here, I have to embed my match. So I come right here to the name box. I click that down, and if I find match there, I click it. If not, I go down to more functions. So I'm going to do match. The lookup value we've already determined is this is how many uniforms, right? So if you think about that left column, this is going to be where does this number needed fit into that left column. The lookup array, this is where I need to go back to data tables and just pick these cells and lock it in by using my F4. Okay, so I'm saying where is 0 in this? Now, if I, then I have to put what is the match type, right? So a 1 means it's a range, and the range is ordered in the data table in an ascending order. So that's good. It's going to bring back a 1, which, 0 would be a 1. I'm going to come back up here in my formula bar and click on index. Now I'm going to do my column, which is the size, right? But I don't know where that fits in. So I'm going to do another match. Come over here, click on match. It's going to take me to the match function. What am I looking for? Well, I'm looking for the size. What am I looking at in? I'm going to go back to my data tables. I'm going to select those values or those entries. I have to lock that in, right? Because I want to copy this. I don't want to do this more than once. And this match type was an exact match. So I'm going to do a 0. I'm going to come back to index. And if I was smart, I should have looked at what the price is for a extra small with nobody ordering it. So I'm going to go ahead and do OK, and I'm going to go validate that. So 42.23, that is correct. If there's between 0 and less than 15 and they're extra small, then it's a 42.23, which it is. I'm going to copy that down, and I'm going to spot check. So medium, well, let's do extra large. None of these get out of that first column, which is a little irritating. 46, so extra large, 46.15. Okay, so I'm going to just make this a 17 just for kicks and make sure it works. And then just remember, so 17 would be in this row, right? It's greater or equal to 15, but less than 20. 44.51. Wait, 44.51. All right, I'm going to change that back to a 7 so I don't get points off. All right, so that's that one, which is this step here. The second half to the student report will retrieve specific fees for which the student whose ID is in B2, which you did all that. Okay. Hold on. No, I'm wrong. You did not do that. E5. So right here. Second half will retrieve the specific fees for which the student whose ID is in B2 is responsible. In E5, enter a VLOOKUP function that will retrieve the student's uniform size from the range in the student report worksheet. So I'm going to go look at that before I start this, right? So let's go to student report, which is this one, and 812. So all of these students, but what piece of information am I returning, right? So this is going to be my lookup table right here. This, right? This is going to, well, pretend I have that last row. So column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, column 5. We want their uniform size, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need to tuck that piece of information in my back of my head when I begin this. So let's go ahead and do VLOOKUP. And the reason I chose VLOOKUP, well, it told me to, but if I didn't have that, what you're looking up is in the first column. That's a vertical lookup. If it's in a row, that's an H lookup. If it's in the middle, then that's an X lookup. That's how you determine which of those lookups to use when you're doing it for yourself. If the lookup value is in the left column, VLOOKUP. If it's across the top row, it's an H lookup. If it's in the middle of the range, then you need to use the X lookup. Okay, so our lookup value is this student ID, right? We want to find out what Chuck's, or no, whatever the student is, 18, Keenan is. So the table array is, it's going to be this, verify what, yeah, A12 through E36, lock that in with your F4 to make it absolute. And then remember we looked, it's column 4, and we're exactly trying to find 18. It's not greater than 15 and less than 20. It's 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 8. It's an exact match. So we're going to type false in here. And Chuck is an extra large, or not Chuck, whatever 18 is, Keenan. Yep, double XL. Cool. Okay, so that's that one. Let's look at 16. E6. Same thing, right? We're going to do a VLOOKUP to retrieve the uniform price from the range G11 to I6 for the uniform size in cell E5. Use E5 as the lookup value. The table array 3, let's see, G11. So that's this guy. So here's my lookup table, right? Right like this. And I want to return the uniform fee. So that's 1, 2, 3. I'm basing what I'm returning on what's in the left column that's found here. So for this student, for Keenan, he's wearing, this person is wearing XXL. So I know if I would do this manually, it would be 4713, but we want to do it programmatically. But I found that here. I went to the appropriate column, which is column 3, and I returned it. Once again, exact match. So let's do that. So let's do this. We're going to go up here to lookup and reference, VLOOKUP, because what we're looking up is over here in the left column. So for this student, their uniform size is there. The table array is this set of columns, or columns and rows locked in. I'm returning the third column, and it's an exact match, so I type false. There we go. 4713. So that's what the student needs to pay after you've figured out, based on number needed, how much it's going to be. Okay, so let's build it. So we're going to come up here to formulas. Lookup and reference. VLOOKUP. The value we're looking up. Let's see, which one are we on? uniform size. The table is this, locked in with my F4. I want 1, 2, the third column, and it's an exact match. So we're going to do OK. So 47, yep, that works. Let's look at 16. In E6, oh, sorry, I didn't do the, let's go back, sorry. Let's do the if error around this. Sorry, I went back one because this says if error. So I type IFE. I hit my tab key. It fills it in and puts the beginning parentheses. I move to the end, comma, quote, quote, and parentheses. Then yeah, so we did that. Sorry, I missed that. I'm trying to do this and people keep walking in the room. Okay. 17, E7. Use an H lookup. Okay, so how do you know that's an H lookup? So let's go look at entry fee. Okay, so I'm going to come up here. I'm going to pick entry fees. And so if we look, so all of, VLOOKUPs you do left column, but look, we're not looking up. It's not in a column. It's across this top. So we want to match their registration fee category, were they early bird, regular, or late, and then return the corresponding value. So this is going to be our lookup table. This is going to be row 1. What we want to return is in row 2. So let's do that. E7, registration fee. So where is the piece of information that's going to tell me? Well, that's right here, regular. So we're going to do equal H lookup. I'm going to hit my tab key. And then I'm just going to come up here to formulas and do insert function. So that's another way to get to this. So my lookup value is their registration type. The lookup table, I need to go to data tables, and I need to select those 2 rows, those 3 columns, right? So, oh, okay, I could have done my F3. I forgot it was a named range. I'm returning row 2, and it's an exact match. So it's exactly like a VLOOKUP, except what you're looking up isn't in the column, it's in a row. We're going to go ahead and do OK. Let's see, registration fee for regular is 500. Perfect. And we don't have to do anything around that, so we're done with that one. Let's look at 18. Cell E8, let's index to retrieve the transportation fee. Okay, so that's what we're looking for, is the fee. From the trans fee named range based on the total number of students ready to go in cell E, right, 38. Okay, in looking at this, I noticed that I knew this wasn't 17. So, and this is adding up how many yeses there are. So I looked at your yes formula, and this is not correct. Let's redo that. So this one confused quite a bit of people because of the way it was written. So we're going to do an if, and then I'm going to go to my function argument, and then right in here I need to do an and. So I'm going to come up here and then I'm going to pick the 2 things. So C12 equals yes. And then the second thing is D28 or D12 is greater than a blank. Okay. Then we're going to come back to my if, and if that's true, we're going to say yes. If it's false, we're going to say no. So let's go ahead and do that and see if this fixes your, let's copy that down. Okay, there's still one wrong. So then what is, why did this one come up with a uniform size? VLOOKUP A13 student data 6. Okay. So in yours, you have it equal. It's supposed to be not equal to 0. So let's change this to a not equal to 0. And then the other thing is, let's go to your if function here, box. So, yeah, you did it backwards. So we'll put that in the true and put the quotes in the false. And let's see if that fixes it. Oh, let me copy that up. And then copy that down. No, why is it still 16? Okay, I think I see the underlying problem. For some reason, you have an M in your uniform size for Pandora. But the good news is the formula works. Your formula works. So we'll see what it does when it this number is going to be off though up here for transportation fee. So all right, so we're basing the bus ride on transportation fees. So let's go look at trans fees. Okay, so right here. So I don't think it's going to matter because it's within that range. Once again, look, we have a column on the left that has the number of people, right? And notice it's not an exact, it's not like you only can have 50, 30, 20, or 10 on the flight, the bus. It's between it. Notice that the numbers go down. They're descending. So put that in your mind. And then the columns are determined by the mode of transportation. So that's the pieces of information that we need in order to figure out the transportation fee. So let's go ahead and start this. And we're going to do index. And we're looking in transportation fees. So I'm going to do an F3 trans fees. The row, I don't know, but it's based on, remember the row is the number. So that's where we need to come down here and put, what is the number? E38. Oh, sorry. We need to go to match. Match. The lookup value is E38. The lookup range, we're going to go back to data tables and get this out of the way. And we want this locked in because it's not changing. And the matched, the match type is a -1 because it's a range and the range is descending. So now I'm going to go back to index. I want to do my column. How we determine the column is based on the travel type. So we got to do our match again. The lookup value is, this is a bus. The lookup array, we're going to go to data tables. We're going to select these. Now these are absolutely matching, so we're going to put a 0 in here and go back to index. It's $84. So let's go look. Data tables for 16, 17 people. That's down here. And a bus, $86. Yay, why did that say 84? Bus, 84. You know what? That's right because it's in descending order. So that is correct. All right. So it would only be less than 10 that's in the lower one. Okay. So then the total is just adding these up, right? So we're just going to go to our auto sum, maybe, and add up 6, 7, and 8. That's correct. So that's cool. So let's go back to here. So we did that and we did that. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. That's walking you through it. Please reach out to me through my email, hmandelish@starkstate, if you have problems. I gave you the times that Amy, um, um, the tutor at Akron, or myself are available. Or I can do this, or we can Zoom. You know, Zooming, I Zoom all the time. I probably Zoom every day with at least one student. So, you know, just reach out. All right. Thank you.